What's up, guys? Welcome to part 2 of my RPG collection. So, last time we covered, let's see, one PS1 game, some DS games, 3DS games, Wii games, etc., etc. This is mostly going to consist of 360, PS1, PS3, PS2, and PS4. So let's just get started. Eternal Sonata on the 360. Definitely an awesome RPG. Not very far into this one, just because I actually haven't been able to sit down and play yet. I just actually got the PS3 or the Xbox 360 copy back in end of August, I think, at a flea market for $5. Not bad. I think it was actually pretty awesome. So, The Last Remnant by Square Enix. Interesting game. Didn't get very far into this because the combat kind of threw me off. This has been years ago, though. Maybe it's better than I remember, but I'll eventually be able to get back into it, maybe. 99 Nights. Did play some of this. It's an more of like an open world RPG kind of game. But I mean, you're still doing missions, but it's not like turn based or anything. Eternal Sonata. Sorry, I should have said this. Eternal Sonata is like a free roam kind of RPG as well, but also in a turn-based fashion. Last Remnant, I don't remember. But 99 Nights is more like a free roam, no turn-based, it's just like a free roam, kind of like a Kingdom Hearts kind of thing. Eternal Eyes. Now, when you first look at this, you're probably going to be wondering what it is. Whenever I first found it, I was in an out-of-town store, and I was at a game store that I actually frequent whenever I'm out of town there. But I turn around, and it's actually like a cute little RPG. I'm like, that's weird. But you know what? For $3, I actually played some of it. It's a strategy RPG, much like Disgaea, and it actually is looks promising. The graphics were okay for the PS1 era. So, Digimon World 3, one of my favorite Digimon games. Definitely different, and definitely it is kind of grind heavy as well, because you can actually grind at the beginning of the game after you get the fishing pole, and it pays off. So Digimon, and then Digimon World 2, also amazing game. Both of these are turn-based. This game is actually kind of different because you go into these like dungeon labyrinth kind of deals, and you get you have these encounters with the Digimon, but you're not just random encounters. It's not like you're walking and all of a sudden you get into a battle. You actually see the Digimon, and you have to, if you want to avoid it, you have to like kind of maneuver around it. And sometimes that don't always work either. Sometimes they do avoid you. To get a Digimon, you actually have to shoot it with a special item that you buy, and it kind of like befriends them in a way. And after you beat the Digimon, you can get the Digimon, or they kind of offer to join your team. Next up, Final Fantasy Chronicles, which has Final Fantasy IV and Chrono Trigger. I actually found this at Goodwill complete. Not bad. I mean, not bad at all. It was $6. This shit, I mean, it works fine. It's awesome. Put some good time into 4. Actually really enjoyed it. Have not actually started Chrono Trigger very much. Put maybe 25 minutes. It's okay. I mean, I'm sure it's like an awesome game once I get into it. It's just I haven't really got into it very much. So, next up is Final Fantasy VIII. If you remember last episode, I showed Final Fantasy VII. This is actually complete. Kind of beat up a little bit, but I really don't care. I mean, hey, whatever. I got it for free from a friend, which was very awesome, and I really do appreciate that he did that for me. The game is amazing from what I've played of it. And the next game is also, actually it's the last Final Fantasy game on PS1, and Final Fantasy IX. Found this complete out of town at the same shop I got Eternal Eyes at. It was $10. I actually saw it one time before, and I could have got it for $12, but I couldn't just afford it. I had like $13 left. I wasn't doing it. And then I went back there like 2 months later, and they still had it. Like, it was the exact same copy. I know it was. It just was. I know. But, like, I was pretty much mind blown, because I was like, how is this still here? And it was $10, so they dropped it down a little bit. So I was like, I'm not walking away without getting this. So, yeah. Next up is actually, I don't have the first game in this, but that is Lunar 2.
I do have all 3 discs as well. No manual. It's not in the original case, etc. So it's not really complete. But you know what? It's Lunar 2. This is something that I had heard from Crusadus told me that he really enjoyed Lunar, loved the first Lunar. I saw Bio show it off before. I was like, you know what? It's like $40-ish. I need to get this. So, yeah. Anywho, we're going to be starting on PS3 games. First off is Disgaea D2 by Brighter Darkness. Not really sure whether this fits in with the series. I think I only made it to Chapter 3. Some of these I haven't really got into a whole lot, but I do, it keeps up the traditional Disgaea gameplay, and, it's still a hell of a lot of fun. Disgaea 3, Absence of Justice. Still looking for the Vita game, like I mentioned, but I do enjoy the humor of this game. It's very interesting, very funny, just like all Disgaea games. Honestly, Disgaea games have a lot of humor, and I love that about the series. And I also have Disgaea 4, which I've put some time to, not very much at all, honestly. Just because RPGs take a while, like I said in the first part of this, they take so long, and I've already started so many games. I'm very limited on what I do start, because I don't want to get into like a big mess. Kingdom Hearts HD, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix, and I also have Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix. I always get the titles mixed up, but this has Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and then it also has 358 over 2 days, the HD cinematic scenes, not the actual game itself. And then this has Kingdom Hearts 2, the final mix, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, the final mix, and then HD cinematics of Recoded. Now, one thing about Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix, I feel like the graphics aren't as well done as the PSP version. I know that's weird. They seem more crisp looking, while the PSP game had these smoother graphics look to me. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. Something felt weird about it. Next up is Final Fantasy 13. A lot of people really dislike this game. I'm actually one of those people that actually really did enjoy it. And I actually really enjoyed Lightning. I think she's a very awesome character. Yes, it is different from what it was from the series. It did take a different turn. The combat's different, but I actually enjoyed it. This is what got me into Final Fantasy, really. I also have Final Fantasy 13-2 and Final Fantasy Lightning Returns. Now, this is different because it is more... the story isn't as driven as Final Fantasy 13 was, but the fact that you can get monsters and train them up, now that was a cool thing. I like that. Getting chocobos and stuff, getting the silver chocobo and the gold chocobo, that was cool. This kind of different. You actually changed between 3 different roles, and you could customize Lightning how you wanted her to be, but it was different. I mean, it wasn't necessarily horrible, but it wasn't what I really was expecting. Final Fantasy X and X-2 Remaster. Now, I got this before I actually got the PS2 versions of the games, but I never actually touched it for some reason. I don't know why I never did. I just never did. I also have Eternal Sonata on the PS3. I've played more of this version than the 360, and but I couldn't turn down getting a 360 copy because I love the look of the case and just everything about it. It just drew me to it. I was like, you know what, $5, I'm gonna get it. I can play the original version. It's gonna be good. I know there's different costumes in the PS3 version, but you know what, whatever. Hyperdimension Neptunia, awesome game. Kind of confusing though if you download the DLC. If you download the DLC first, or early on, don't do it. Just don't. It's a very confusing game. Honestly, get the PS Vita version if you can, because the Rebirth was done better. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth on the PS4. Awesome RPG, awesome Digimon game. Finally at a point where I can grind pretty nicely. Now, there are a few things I don't like about the game. They took out the function of... you can still Digivolve, but the problem is it doesn't raise your stats like it did on Dusk and Dawn, so you can't. I mean, all you're doing grinding wise is trying to get to the next level, like the ultimate level and whatnot. You're not actually grinding to raise your stats, which it disappoints me. But you know what? Overall, I think the game's good. Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X, well, 10-2. Found this at Goodwill for like $4, and then got this off of Amazon. It cost me about $5 as well. Very awesome though. They're both complete. And, you know, that means a lot to me because I love that I found them. And I have played a good bit of Final Fantasy X, and I'm really enjoying it. And I definitely understand the hype everyone gives about it. Xenosaga, Episode 1. I haven't actually played any of this. Crusadus actually bought it for me off of, I can't remember if it was Amazon or eBay now, but I haven't really played any of it yet, which is disappointing because I do want to play, but yeah. Kingdom Hearts and then Kingdom Hearts 2. Both are extraordinary games. I mean, you know, I already talked about the PS3 versions. I didn't really talk about a lot, but you know, Kingdom Hearts is a great series. Everyone pretty much knows about Kingdom Hearts, I'd say. You know, Kingdom Hearts, you have Sora using the Keyblade to go from world to world, which are Disney worlds, and trying to defeat the Heartless, and the game's just amazing. Next up is Disgaea 2. Love this game. Disgaea 2 is probably my favorite in the whole series because, I don't know, just something about it is amazing. Like, just the story itself is actually what I started with. I actually got Disgaea 2 for $5 at GameStop when they had their PS2 games for the, 75% off. My GameStop actually still has some of those. They're just not good PS2 games, so yeah. 2 games left to show, guys. 1 PS2, 1 GameCube. Shining Force EXA. Awesome Shining Force game. Yeah, it's not the same as like the Shining Force strategy game that we saw on the Genesis, but it's still a very awesome RPG. Which I technically do own a copy of Shining Force, I guess if you want to be really technical, because I do own Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection, have that on there, but I don't know, it's just not the same for me. And the last game to show is Lost Kingdoms, an RPG that I rented as a kid many years ago, and it stuck with me. I finally found a copy for myself out of town for $12. It's not complete, but you know what? I've played some of this, and it definitely lives up to my memory, and I love it. I love that this exists. I hope to get the second one someday, but that's actually it's a lot more expensive and hard to come by, so it will just depend. So anyway, though, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching these videos. Make sure to comment. Tell me some of your favorite RPGs. Tell me, just comment, and let's have some discussions about these games, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Share my video. It helps me out as a small YouTuber. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you all later. Peace out, guys.